Hi, and welcome to Inside Curtin. I'm Jared Dobson. In this episode, we share the secret to getting top marks in the toughest courses. Find out about the great work done by Curtin volunteers and how you can get involved. And see the Bloom creation built on campus. No one said uni was going to be easy, but there is no need for it to be harder than it has to be, with great programs like UniPass available to help students get ahead.
UniPass are group revision sessions run by successful students. It's aimed at students who just want to succeed and get the best that they can. They want to ace the unit and get really high marks. It's also aimed at students who are a bit nervous or think they might not be so successful in the unit.
Basically, I'm a student who's done a difficult unit before and I'm now facilitating that unit. So basically I'm running like weekly revision sessions for students who are currently doing it.
So it's to further their understanding or concrete understanding, help each other. It's very peer orientated and collaborative as possible.
It's not like a tutorial or like a lesson, it's more like a group of students with me facilitating activities.
They love it, especially because every week I have a theme and I try and make it as pop cultural based as possible, like get into the inner nerd of the students. So basically I'll give them a problem to solve. For example, with the Game of Thrones, you got to write a program where it puts this output depending on what house you want to pick, so Targaryen or Stark or whatever, yeah. You know, I've gotten emails from students saying, thank you so much. That activity where you ran around in that red jacket and pretended to be like a blood cell, that really helped me to remember the content. If they're engaged and having fun, you're more welcome to come back and you're more willing to tackle harder things as well because it doesn't feel like you're actually sitting there studying or anything like that, you're actually having fun.
It helps students with their grades. Students who come for at least 5 sessions in a semester average 14% higher grades. We've also expanded into the online space. We're running Facebook groups based on the UniPass model. And
all the facilitators who facilitate that unit, they are a part of that Facebook group. And as a facilitator, if the students ask questions, I could comment on it or I could propose another question or, you know, just engage with students.
Students who are studying externally, they can use the Facebook groups with the units that are supported by UniPass. Some units have over 2,000 students. There's usually someone online to offer support or encouragement or provide guidance.
And lots of students say, like, I hope this keeps going because it really helped me.
It shows how capable students are at helping each other and the support they can provide.
To find out more, check out UniPass on the Curtin website or email unipass@curtin.edu.au. Helping others is of course a great thing to do, but as we found out, our Curtin volunteers often get back even more than they put in.
So Join Curtin Weekend is Curtin Volunteers' largest community project, now in its 17th year. We take 500 plus volunteers to 43 different locations, regional, metropolitan and our Mary campus. We've got the Curtin bush races, that's the community bush races and the money raised from that goes back into the town. We've got Lake Grace, the local lions, they usually paint the local kindergarten centre. We've got Tambler, the Tambler show. We have a new one this year, the Avon Environmental Society, where they're doing planting and pulling of weeds. Feedback from past participants is that it's a great vibe. You get to meet new people, you get to go out into the country, but most importantly, you get to work on community projects that benefit the country people and the metropolitan not-for-profit organisations. It's just the most amazing project where people just get really vitalised in working together. And again, you know, you meet new people, or you can volunteer with your friends. It's really their choice.
You can sign up on the website or pay the CV team a visit in Building 303.
Well, on our campus we have a program called Place Activation in which we're trying to enliven the campus. And the EcoPod is one of those projects. And the beauty of the EcoPod is that we can actually get our architecture students to design these structures and these elements, and we will ultimately place them in the landscape.
We wanted to actually challenge it and make it something that can capture spirit of the place, rather than just being there. So we call it a spirit trap.
When I heard that we were going to be doing a pod on Curtin campus, the first thing that I thought of was, what will the students want to use it for? I find, everyone seems to be meeting over coffee and things, so I thought, well, why can't I create a space that has that same atmosphere but has more of an approach to sustainability? So this movable canopy just here, it's something that students, when they're within the pod, can control and manipulate themselves to get different light effects into the space. And to really create an intrigue and attract people to do this, I designed this sort of industrial mechanism that works it.
So the main drive of my project was to put something on campus that would improve campus life. The doors are a drawbridge style pulley system. So they're designed to they've got tiered seating on it, so when you open it up, it creates a different study space where it can be a group tuition. So they open up and close as a drawbridge style, and the pulleys make it simple on a crank system to actually open and close.
I had this sort of timber structure which would have a sort of, I guess you can say, a structural sort of spine through the building, and that my pallets would sort of come together and inform that sort of spine and clad this sort of pod so that it sort of shaped and gave a bit more of a natural feel and texture, something where a space where someone could come into, feel calm, relaxed.
Once I started learning a bit about the spatial mapping and the analogue mapping of the site, working out pedestrian access, it sort of developed into the shape of the building that I wanted, or the pod that I wanted to create. And it came down really to 3 points, and that was transportability, transformability and sustainability. When I heard of one, that I was quite surprised but quite happy. I mean, who doesn't like to win?
It would be great to build one of these on campus to see how the students are having their own signature, their stamp, their legacy behind once they actually graduate.
I'm quite keen to see if they do construct it. It'd be quite interesting. Obviously there's a few details that might need to be looked at prior to building, but I think it'd be quite an interesting project if they do it.
You may have noticed a weird pink structure that grew around campus a little while ago. How did it get there and why? We set off to find out.
Today's our first day, and it's just really exciting to see all the new students and some of the existing ones coming down and getting involved.
So they've got slots and areas in which you can use them. If you sort of do that and you use them in the way they're kind of meant to be used, then they seem to turn out okay. Some of the unconventional joining techniques then end up requiring things like zip ties.
Every person who comes and contributes a piece changes the shape and the form of the structures and how they develop.
Quite organic, I think. Hopefully it'll stand up.
It's just going to be really interesting to see how these shapes and weird looking things behind us are going to take form over the next 4 days.
It's hard to predict what's going to come out because there's too many people working on it, Lots of different minds with lots of different ideas.
People will come up with ideas that we've never even thought of before, and I think that's the real value of the bloom.
You sort of think you just chuck it all in together and it will just turn out as good as the pictures you see on the website, but it's actually, you've got to put a bit more thought into it.
Kirsten, my business partner, and I are Curtin University alumni. We had fairly strong connections with the university, and when we started our business Future Common, coming back to Curtin was such an interesting prospect for us. It's really fun and it's really playful and creative, and it really brings people together and starts a conversation that doesn't often get started.
Some people are getting right into it, they've been hanging around for half an hour or something.
And being outside on such a lovely day, it's a really amazing opportunity.
Hopefully Bloom will be back, maybe even bigger, brighter and better. Well, that's it for this episode of Inside Curtin. If you'd like to find out more about anything you've seen, you can visit the Learning for Tomorrow website at curtin.edu.au. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Sure.